You are now tuned in to the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, where we will be discussing actual audio and visual clips captured during the team's investigations. Hear firsthand eyewitness accounts from fellow team members and special guests. Now smash that like, subscribe, and follow button, and let's get ready to welcome team leader and your host, Eric Vanderlaan, and tech specialist and co-host, Mike Del Coro.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the War Party Paranormal Radio Show. This is Eric. I'm Eric Vanderlaan, your host and team leader of War Party Paranormal. And over there...
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Mike Del Coro. I'm a case manager and investigator with War Party Paranormal and your co-host. And we got an awesome show for you guys tonight. I'm going to let Eric tell you what we're getting into.
I still got a paranormal hangover from Saturday, by the way.
I know. I wish I could have made it. But
I know, right? And actually, we had our event. It's been a while, but we were at the Gold Coast Railroad Museum in Miami, Florida. We had an event there, super active. Crazy thing happened to me.
One of our favorite places.
Yeah, for sure. And our guest, I believe it's one of her favorite places too. So I'm not going to waste any time. And we have Erin Egnatz from Hauntings Around America. And she's a writer and she's a historian. So she knows her stuff, and she goes all over the U.S. and investigate places, mainly like stuff that's related to the Civil War. She's investigated with us at Gold Coast Railroad Museum, and she was on our show. When we first started the show, we were talking about Waverly. I did make an intro. I got to make an intro. So if I can find it, I'm going to let it roll. Here we go. You ready? Ready, Mike?
Let's do it.
Here we go. I'm sorry, I had it blared at the end. It's heavy metal, you gotta listen to it loud, right?
That's right. Man, that one stone mansion looked like the Addams family house. That was cool. Like
I know,
a couple of those
right?
spots in that area with all the rocks and the tombstones. That was awesome. That looked pretty cool.
I want Erin's job. I want to
Right?
be her. She goes to so many cool places, and she's, like I said, she's been investigating with us. We just recently had an event at the Gold Coast Railroad Museum, and I figured, like, since right after our event, we might as well have someone who really likes the place. And actually, the night we were with Erin, El Puma, Joe Torino, one of our investigators, was with us as well. Also, Ernesto Paez, who wrote the music to that intro, he was there as well. And that was a crazy, crazy, crazy night.
That was a wild night. We had that
But
crazy Estes session.
yeah,
where
we
Joe
had a
was-
tropical disturbance, and you're going to see a little clip of that. It was pretty wild, and I think that like enhanced the activity. It was pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, I think so too. I think that was like when we started to realize that low pressure systems and barometric pressure have a lot to do, with the paranormal.
Because I would say that night was probably the most active night I've ever investigated at any place, and I'll say that. I won't even hesitate.
It was absolutely wild. And Joe, we have Joe with us tonight, don't we?
Yeah, we do. El Puma, the one and only.
That's right.
So let's not waste any time, and we'll bring Erin on first.
All right, sounds good.
Hey, Erin.
Hi.
Welcome back to the show. And
Yeah, welcome back.
Good to be back. Thanks for having me.
Well, we had so much fun with you. We had to bring you back again. So there you go. And plus, we were just recently at the Gold Coast, and you've been there, and
I love it. It's so
you've been
much
to
fun.
a lot of places. Like, how would you compare that place to like a lot of the places that you've been to?
One of the best. I have. I've been all over. I've investigated in 40 different states, and I will say that that's one of my favorites.
And plus, we had help with that weather that stirred things up.
Yes. Yeah, that was pretty wild. I agree. I think that really adds to it. Something about the energy or something.
Yeah.
And just a little bit of quick history for the viewers and the listeners.
We're going to get a history lesson.
Quick one. So, it was basically originally a naval air station, Richmond Naval Air Station, where they housed a bunch of airships, like, big blimps. And there was a hurricane that pushed through and it caught fire and there were some deaths. And then they turned it into the Gold Coast Railroad Museum, where they have a bunch of historical train cars that have a lot of history each. And so you have the paranormal activity from the base itself, and then you have all these trains there as well. So,
and all the train cars, they all have their own personalities. You got the presidential car, the Ferdinand Magellan. I was in there last Saturday night. Don't get jealous.
I
was very active.
It's special for us to get in there because it's not always available. It's really neat. So, like, before they had Air Force One, they had Railcar One, which was the Ferdinand Magellan.
Secret Service agent got shot and killed there. We've spoken to him. Pretty wild.
Wow.
Yeah, and Erin's been in a lot of those cars. We didn't get to go in the presidential, but we went into the California Zephyr, the double decker, getting some crazy stuff in there. I don't know if you went to the segregation car.
Yes.
The Army
the
medical
mechanics
car.
room.
Yeah, the mechanics room was wild. That's part of the original base. And Joe Torino, our good buddy, he's had some pretty wild experiences in that mechanics room as well.
Yep. And Erin, why don't you tell people like a little bit? You're a historian, you're a professor, you're a paranormal investigator. Can you just tell people a little bit about what you do and where you go? And actually, you hold events as well.
I do, yeah. So I'm one of those nomads. I go everywhere. If I find a place that I think is interesting, and I just, book a flight and I'm off. Recently, I just did one in North Carolina on a battleship. So, I'll go anywhere. I started doing hauntings around America about 3 years ago, but I've been doing investigations for over 20 years. The reason I go to all these places and I hold events is because, when I first started, a lot of these places weren't accessible to just anybody. So I wanted to make sure that, more people can do what I do, and, not have to pay $1,000 to rent it out or whatever. So that kind of got me into it. And I started hauntings around America as spotlighting haunted places all over the U.S. I would write the history of it because, like you said, I'm a historian, and a lot of people don't care about history. I do, and I like to write about it.
We do.
Yeah, most ghost hunters I've noticed, we
have to.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of how it started as a blog, and then evolved into events, and here we are.
All right.
Yeah, very cool, guys. And you need to check her out, follow her social media, because whenever she has events, she's posting them, and you guys can check out some of these awesome locations.
Mm-hmm. And we have another guest for you guys. We have El Puma, Joe. Bam.
What's up, Joe?
Good evening, everybody. How we doing?
Doing great, man. Hey, Joe. So you're, I see your background there. You're starting up your podcast again very soon, and super excited for that.
Yep, coming back. Decided to. Honestly, I missed it. I missed doing the research and digging into all the stories from around our wonderful, weird ass state that we live in. So, I wanted to dive right back in. So, starting on the outside first, starting putting a clear coat of paint on there, and making it a little, jazzing it up. And I've already started writing the next episode, so that'll premiere later this summer. And I've revitalized the YouTube page, putting everything back up on the YouTube. Everything was already still on all the podcast players.
Mm-hmm.
But it's coming back to YouTube, and with each episode, I'm also including different facts also to go around with each place, besides the actual story. So you get a little bit more of the area, a little stuff that's not in that, and some fun stuff. Some fun stuff.
And guys, you got to listen to them because they are amazing. Like, I'm not a podcast listener, but when I listen to his, I got to listen to the end. I can't stop in the middle. So he did a great job.
He did a phenomenal job, and I can't wait to the new season.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. And Erin, it's awesome to have you too, because to have somebody else who's loves the history. I'm not a professor by any means, and not a professional historian, but getting to have a one-on-one with somebody who does that professionally is awesome, and getting to bounce some facts off and stuff. So thank you so much for letting me hang out.
Absolutely. I'm excited. I enjoyed investigating with you. I think it was you and me that did most of the investigating at the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
We had some good times back.
Yeah, we had
with that
a lot of laughs, definitely. Oh yeah.
So the wildest paranormal experience I ever had was when Erin was there, and we were in the maintenance room, and it wasn't even dark yet. And I'm standing there by the bathroom, and the bathroom has a window, and the lights coming in, and I'm standing there, and I see a full-blown shadow figure with arms and legs. And as soon as I said that, Erin's like, someone just ran their finger like this on me. And I looked at her face, and you could see she had blush. The finger wiped it off, and then she got touched. Joe got touched as well later on that night. That was wild.
Yeah, we all got a little touch then.
Yeah, they don't touch
And
me, though.
What was wild is Franny here in the chat, the Supernatural Eye. She actually got touched as well in that room at a later date, almost described, and she didn't know about your incident, and she almost described it almost to the T, the same that happened to you. So there is a spirit in that area that is fond of the women type.
Yeah. Well, we determined that it was maybe an officer's quarters, and maybe at that time women weren't allowed in there, and maybe they didn't treat them right.
Mm-hmm.
Especially around that time, it was World War II. It was women first coming into the military as well, and a lot of these officers, soldiers, higher ranking officials took well advantage of a lot of these women in those situations. And it's not like today. There's more of a voice.
Right.
Back then it was his word against hers, and that's how it was.
I can't believe that was 2 years ago, 2021. It seemed like it was yesterday. Right?
I was like, World War II? What? That wasn't no.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about when Erin's with us.
I know
Yeah,
it doesn't seem that long, right?
No.
It's still one of the most memorable nights.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Just-
I got a little video to play though. I threw some clips in there with the help of Erin.
Oh, cool.
You guys want to see it?
Heck yeah, we do.
All right, play it right now.
Mike? Is that what I said? You hear that?
Yeah. I heard Erin.
Yeah, I think it was there.
I heard Erin.
I was in the California Zephyr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild.
I think that was pretty early on in our night too, I believe.
Yeah.
When we were first.
I
getting
still laugh
started.
about that.
It's crazy. Like at that place, like we've been there so many times. Everyone's names get called out there. It's like we build a relationship with these spirits. I mean, they're like real people. You know, it's pretty wild.
So Kat was asking, do you guys have an idea of who the touchy spirit may be?
Major Archibald McFreely. McFeely. There
Oh,
you go. Joe knows.
McTouchy fingers.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, we do think that it may be a high-ranking officer, because during the Estes session, and Joe was under, and he kept spitting out a lot of like devil, demon, things of this nature, and I was like, no, no, come on. We're not gonna fall for that. You're not gonna scare us out of here. I'm like, you need to just man up and talk to me. And then, like, after I said that, the whole vibe and the whole everything shifted. And then we started getting some responses like, leave my base. Like, it was wild. Like, I actually was digging through some of the video just to kind of refresh my memory. And yeah, it was wild. It was definitely, and then he was talking about Germany and like the bomb and all this stuff. So we believe it was somebody in the military.
And then Joe and Erin, they had like a paranormal experience when they were in there. You guys got touched again, right? They touched Joe though.
Joe, yeah.
How can he not
What?
touch the Puma?
It actually touched Erin inappropriately first.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot about
Yes.
that. Yes.
Yes.
And then it touched you. Yeah.
Yes. Well, then it got mad because I called. I was like, "Hey, like you can't do that. I don't know who you think you are." And then I got like poked and then pushed right after.
Right.
Then
Was
he
that
got
the
EVP.
That's the EVP. Also,
Yeah.
we got a killer EVP, and it says, "I poked him."
Yeah, that
you
was
have to-
wild, right? Like a Class A EVP, and you hear Joe go something like, I don't remember. It was been a while.
I
but
just
it was
got
like,
poked. Yeah, I just got poked, and then you hear, "Shh, I poked him."
yeah. Actually, Joe, do you have that on your social media?
Yes, I do. Give me one
Maybe you
second.
could share it to your story, and we could tell people to go check it out.
Yeah.
If you want to hear that, go check out Joe Hunt's Ghost on Instagram. Maybe he'll post it to a story later. But yeah, that was a really good EVP. That was wild. And for it to say like I poked him, like I and it seemed like almost like a dominant energy, right? Like he was like trying to like show
A
himself, like,
high-ranking officer, you know.
I'm gonna poke the big guy, like, you know what I mean? Like, you guys need to get out of here. And like it was wild. So but you know what? We've been back in there and tried the same methods and the same kind of stuff, and we haven't really got anything like we did that night.
No.
Which is weird. So, but they move around, right? They're not There's no fences, so who knows? What was one of the other memorable things about that night, if you remember? Because I know it was like a couple years ago, but in your own words, like how would you describe the place?
It was probably one of the most consistently active throughout the night. A lot of places we'll go to, we may get something here or there, but this was just like every single place we went, there was something going on. I remember, I don't remember which car it was, but Joe and I were doing a session, and it was just really active. Maybe it was there. Yeah.
That place is very active.
Yeah, you could just tell something was there. And then when he went through his stuff later on, you could hear it. And then we moved over to a different car. And then like the Zephyr that we were on, that spirit had us all laughing. And when we were all together at the end of the night, was it the dining car? We were all pretty tired by that point, but we
were there till like around 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, it was a long night.
You hopped on the plane and flew right back.
I did. I did.
And the segregation car as well. That was one too. Like we had that one has seats on left and right, and then the aisle down the middle. Mm-hmm. And we had a REM pod down the middle. We had a millimeter with a REM on it. Everything was hitting in that thing, and it was like on command. It was just boom, boom. Once it started, it would not stop.
Yeah, it was really consistent. It was, like I said, I've never been to a place where it's just constant in every single location. That was really cool.
I even remember in that card, I had a K2, and I'm not a big fan of K2s because they can very easily be, they're so sensitive that it can, it could pick up anything, right? But I had placed it up on top of the little segregation sign where it flips from white to colored, and I set it way up there, and like out of the way, and we were standing back, and that thing was just friggin' firing off and like going, like that whole cart just had so much energy. It was wild.
And then we were getting those rain bands from that disturbance, like coming through every now and then.
Yeah.
For those people that tuned in late, I'm gonna play a really quick video of the beginning of the Gold Coast one with the weather, just so you can get a picture how it was that night.
Yeah, that was wild.
Here we go. I'm just gonna run a little bit of it.
Pretty cool. We had to cover everything.
I know.
And we were actually earlier in that night, we were filming a little something for a pilot. We were doing some project that we were working on. So we had like every piece of gear that we had like out, like it was a big spread. And then we were all running around with a tarp. I don't know where the tarp came from, but luckily we had one.
I had the tarps in my trunk from a camping trip I had taken earlier.
Yeah, good thing.
People have to realize, like, before these rain bands come in, these squalls, it's like nice and calm. It was maybe cloudy, and then all of a sudden, bam! Like the rain's going sideways inside the hangar.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking Forrest Gump. It's that sideways rain.
Right. Yeah, right. So we have a good question here. You think there's a correlation between the trains?
I agree 100%. So much in and out, people, many stops, different types of people, different type of walks of life, different energies, happy, sad, all sorts. And it just,
I mean, we get a waiter spirit in one of the cars. He's sort of like a jokester. Like I start talking about like how the service is real slow.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, we got eat like over and over from the portal. It would not stop. It was crazy. And we were like so freaking tired.
Yeah.
It was on everything. And we were like delirious. We were like laughing because it coming through the spirit box. We had EVPs. Everything that came out was eat. You know, it was so wild.
That was.
And it was, you know, like you said, it was like that was like the end of the night, or I should say the beginning of the morning. It was super late. It was like 4:30 in the morning. We're all tired, and we're just laughing hysterically because every response was eat. It was so weird. Yeah. So that might have been your waiter there, Eric.
Yeah. And my buddy James over here was asking about if we get any military spirits inside the cars. It's sort of odd because it's like we get the military spirits like in the original part of the building when it was part of the Richmond Air Station. And then like I think I've gotten like a soldier in the medical car, but from what Joe told me, the medical car was never even put into service. Didn't even see war. So it's pretty odd. But like
it was put in rotation right at the very end, so it never even made it overseas.
Yeah, like all the cars, they all have like their own personalities from that time or whatever, what was going on in that car. And then it all relates to that, like the presidential car, Secret Service agent. I think we got something in the segregation car that was geared towards segregation. We get a waiter in the dining room. I mean, we got someone even like in the lounge, just like a lounge car where someone got thrown out to his death out the car. So it's pretty wild.
And it's not even just, I mean, like yeah, we get a ton of EVPs, we get a ton of hits on our gear, but I mean, full blown shadow figures throughout that entire place. I mean, I remember there was a time that we literally were just taking a break and we're sitting at the end, pretty much where we keep our gear, and we're just sitting, just looking down, and you would just see them just, you know, just shoot across. And then we had an event last year sometime,
like November, October.
It was us three, I think, Eric, Mike, and myself, and then another guest. And I saw a shadow figure just standing on the Zephyr at the end of the hall that I took off after this thing.
Yes.
And I ran outside and everything, asking like people, I was like, did somebody just get off the train? Because it was so like it was like just standing there, and it was just, you know, solid black, and it just slowly walked, and I took off after that thing. I don't know how I didn't kill myself running down the freaking stairs on that Zephyr.
I remember this, and right as that happened, almost like simultaneously, two more people walked in to the train, and you asked them, it was like, did somebody just get off the train? And they're like, no. And they're like, you just walked in for the first time, right? And they're like, yeah. And just to explain that, like, it, you know, you ever been like one of those freezers or whatever, and they have the big plastic strips hanging, and you have to like push through them to get in? That's what they have for the cart, because the cart is air conditioning during the day, so it keeps the air in. So you would have definitely like seen or heard somebody kind of pushing through there. So yeah, there was definitely something going on. And I've learned to notice that, you know, with Joe's abilities and sensitivity that he has to this stuff, that at first when he would be like, oh man, I see something standing there, I'd be like, you know, but after a little while, man, anytime he sees something and I point my camera in that direction or go there, we've captured something on the camera. So
well, wasn't it the last time we had the event, when you guys were at the event, like we were wrapping up and I was in the bathroom and you guys were like by the table, like what your equipment was, and we heard that disembodied voice of that child yelling?
Yeah.
That was wild.
Yes. And I remember we were running all over the place looking. Like everyone was gone at that point. All the guests were gone. Like we were wrapping up for the night at this point.
One of the wildest things that we caught there, actually Eric caught by accident, I believe, because I was going through some of the footage for something and I found it, but I don't even think that it would have got missed. Was that thing that crawled out from under the trains in the back,
on the FLIR, I got a weird signature. It almost looked like the shape of a bear, like crawling underneath the rail car, one of the rail cars outside the hangar. But it was instead of it being hot, it was very cold, and you could see it like crawling out and then dissipated. It was just like the weirdest thing.
And the temperature on this being or whatever it was, you know, with the FLIR red and orange is the hottest on the FLIR, and that was at 50 degrees because it was cold out. So whatever that blue was
it was like black.
A lot colder than 55
it's
degrees.
Like the coldest, yeah.
And it almost looks like it crawls out and then notices Eric and then kind of backs back underneath the train.
There you go.
Like a creeper. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was very odd. And you know, if you guys want to continue and give me a second, I might be able to find that clip.
You want to pay the bills? Or you want me
yeah,
to
let's do that. While you're running that, I'm gonna see if I can find that clip real quick.
All right, so we got to pay some bills. So we'll start off with our first commercial. What's up, my paranormal peeps? I'm Erin Egnatz, and I'm the host of War Party Paranormal Radio, and also the team leader of War Party Paranormal Research. And we got an exciting announcement to let you guys know tonight, and it involves stuff like this, and my co-host is going to tell you all about it.
What's up, guys? I'm Mike Del Coro with War Party, obviously. We are a technical team, and we always have people ask us, where can we get equipment like this? Well, you can get it from the ghosthunterstore.com. We got a nice little sponsorship worked out with them. We're going to be doing some giveaways, so stay tuned. Very, very cool, and go check them out at theghosthunterstore.com. Peace.
And by the way, we got a special code where you get a discount, and even Erin can use this because she buys paranormal equipment.
All the time.
Yep. So if you use the code Ghosts Gone Wild, you'll get a little discount on your purchase. And Joe, it's not Girls Gone Wild.
Actually, real quick, I got a big announcement for you guys out there. I've been talking with Dave at the Ghost Hunter store, and they're going to be carrying the Delco goggles here soon. So everybody that's been wanting to get a pair, we're going to be selling them through the Ghost Hunter store. So keep an eye out for that.
All right, and then we got to pay one other bill.
I just picked up a couple of these actually from the Ghost Hunter store. This is the Mr. D motion detector.
It's kind of blurred out because of your green screen.
Yeah, it's basically it works through radar. It's not your traditional light sensor, IR sensor, motion detector. This thing is very accurate. Used it out in the field to test a couple times, and it's insane. And the range on this thing. So what I've learned is this is going to be something to set somewhere, leave it when I'm out something, and it's loud enough that you're going to hear it, and it's going to pick up some motion up to, I think I tested it up to like 35 feet away, which is
that like the one that I have?
Yeah,
similar.
It actually goes through walls, drywall. So very, very sensitive. Yeah, we found that out the hard way. And then what we ended up started to doing is like on multiple floor buildings, like we would put it on like one floor by itself.
Yeah.
And that's it. But yeah, a very, very neat piece of equipment for sure.
Mm-hmm. And Erin, you know, like when you go on an investigation, sometimes it can be really hot, especially in South Florida. It gets hot, humid, you get dehydrated. Well, we got the perfect thing for that, so I'm going to play that right now. Here we go. What's up, my paranormal people? Eric and Mike here from the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, wanting you to remember the importance of hydration. Remember, we hunt ghosts. We don't want to turn into ghosts. Dehydration can lead to inflammation and even degenerative disease, so hydration is crucial.
Whether you're up all night investigating the paranormal, sky watching, or Bigfoot, Fuel Up Hydration System is designed to support motivation, concentration, and rejuvenation with the best immune-enhancing delivery system available today.
Experience the benefits of Fuel Up with their Feel the Difference money-back guarantee.
Visit fuelup.gg/warparty for their special offer that includes free shipping. Fuel up for life. Hey, Eric, how do we do?
It's awesome.
All right. Well, maybe we should stick to hunting ghosts. I don't know if commercials is our thing.
True that. Go get your fuel up.
Get it.
It works. It actually works. Seriously, because I tried it. My son works out. He goes to the gym all the time. He loves that stuff. He stole it from me. So just got to let you know. And Mike, we got a special announcement, don't we?
We do. So tonight, I told everybody we're going to be dropping a trailer for our new episode that's coming out in July. The House of Refuge on Paraflix, The Haunted Files. It's 1 minute long, so I'll give you guys a quick taste of what's in store.
We gonna look for some ghosts.
This house has seen death.
It's getting crazy in here.
And those are the stairs where people is getting touched and pushed.
So that was spooky. We're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna do the Delco experiment. Is that you standing next to us? This is nuts. Nuts. You died. Okay.
Check it out.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Cool. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Speaking of a historian, too.
Yeah, that's where it's at. saying.
Yeah, Jesse's a historian
Yeah. That's awesome.
and an investigator.
So it was
Paranormal
neat to
investigator.
have to investigate with her at her home location because there's some really surprising stuff that happens in that episode, and she was there to collaborate, like the stuff that happened with the history, and then she was like super excited because she said that's the first time out of investigating with people there that
She
anything's
has some
actually
jaw-dropping
lined up.
moments.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
wild.
We heard a disembodied voice out by the beach. It was pretty wild, and nobody's around. It was really late.
No, and I've been there once with Mike just to scope out the place, and like once that shuts down, there's like ain't nothing out there.
Nothing.
No, there's
you're
nothing.
on a little island, and there's one road, and you have water to the east and water to the west. You have the ocean and then the bay, and then one strip of road, and it's on the beach. And this was like 1 o'clock at night, and it almost sounded like a baby crying, like on the beach. And we went out there and checked it out, and there's the weather, you have these waves just crashing against these rocks, and there's nobody
there's,
out there,
cliffs
especially a baby.
Yeah. And the strip of land is like what, maybe 100 feet wide. It's just enough for a
wide,
road
yeah.
into the house, and that's it.
Wow.
So
So
very
very-
cool. So the quick
That's very
history,
cool.
the quick history about that place is South Florida is called the Treasure Coast, and the reason why they call it the Treasure Coast is because back in the late 1800s, actually from the early 1900s, before, there were so many shipwrecks because of the reefs that are out there. There's people all the time with metal detectors looking for stuff remnants from
Treasure.
those treasures from the
Treasure,
shipwrecks.
money.
And so since these shipwrecks happen so often, they built these houses of refuge all along the coast of Florida, starting from Stewart, going all the way down to Miami. So when
There
these
was 10 of them.
yeah, because Florida was very undeveloped. It was just like wilderness. You go on the beach and there's nothing there, and you don't have fresh water or anything. So now when these people shipwreck, they have these places that they can go to get refuge. And the House of Refuge where we visited, it's the last one there. And then at one point it was a Coast Guard base, I believe a naval base. They have a tower there where they used to search for the German U-boats during World War II.
Yeah, where I flew my drone through.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was badass. But yeah, it's a very cool place. And the team that's listening here, we're going to be working on a date for the team to go there and investigate. So stay tuned for that. And Erin, if you're intrigued, let us know.
I'm very intrigued.
Okay,
Let me
awesome.
know when.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely want to set it up where we get the rest of the team out there. It is small, but there's
it's
three
pretty
buildings. There's the boathouse, the main building, and the other one.
Yep.
That's fine because we could do the beach too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we could. Yeah.
We wanted to do a Delco out on the beach.
There's a
That would be
shipwreck, like you can snorkel to it from the beach. And then when I forget, it was called the George of Valentine. It shipwrecked like in the late 1890s. The next day there was another shipwreck, and it was pretty funny. Not funny, but it's pretty cool. Is that they have pieces from those shipwrecks like inside the house. But I was almost going to give away part of the show.
No.
Leave it at that.
Leave it at that. Let the suspense build.
There's some attachments
one of the
there.
thing that's happened to me and to us in an investigation in a long time. So let people check that out. Also, real quick, why that was going on, I did find the FLIR.
Oh, cool. You know, a little piece of it was in the Ghost Hunter store video, but it went so quick you can recognize it.
Yeah, this is only 6 seconds because I clipped it out. But what I did is I just real quick while we were doing that, edited it and I put it like 6 times. So check it out, guys. Remember I was saying something that looks like something crawled out from underneath the train?
Mm-hmm.
So it's on the
right.
The bottom right-hand corner.
You see all 4 legs moving.
You can clearly see 4 legs, and it was colder than 55 degrees. So
and I was standing in front of that. I missed that video. And the reason why I missed it is because I didn't see anything with my own eyes. I mean, I could see the rail car. I could almost see underneath it, but I didn't see anything with my own eyes. But the FLIR caught that. It was pretty wild.
That's a good catch. That I agree. It seems creeper-like.
Right?
Yeah.
Very spooky. Very weird. And there's nothing that I could come up with to debunk it. I don't know what would be crawling around at that temperature.
Cat says it looks like Thumper.
Yeah, my dog.
I was going to say it almost like its movements actually almost look like cat-like.
I was going to say a deer.
Like stalking.
It almost looks like a long neck kind of deer.
I thought it looked like a bear.
It's just
like it looked like you had this butt up. I don't know.
Right? Anybody in the comments have any kind of any ideas?
So John said it looks like the temperature dropped near it, and as it moved away, it seemed to warm back up. Like it was almost moving away, right?
Yeah, it was
dissipated. Like it just came up and disappeared.
Erin, do you have any evidence that you've got recently that you want to share with everybody too, of like some of the newest locations that you've been to since we last talked to you?
Let's see. I think I went to Waverly again since I talked to you guys.
Okay.
And
we're gonna try to join you, I think.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and do it again
Awesome.
in the fall or winter, sometime. But I did get the exact same voice in the exact same place say the exact same thing again.
Really?
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. I played it back when I got home and I was like, no way. And at first I time checked it, make sure I wasn't playing one of my old clips. It was the exact same thing. It said the exact same word, which was ho. Every time I'm there, that thing calls me.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I don't know why it calls me that.
Maybe it used to be a gardener.
That must be it. We'll go with that. Yeah. So that was a good one. Let's see. I haven't done too many lately. I just did the Battleship North Carolina. We had a lot of personal experiences, but nothing ended up on camera, which is.
Oh wow.
Nah.
But it's still a good night, man. It's still that's almost a better night.
Yeah.
That's because that's yours, Like
exactly.
I went through that. Like
Yeah.
Well,
You know, especially something like that.
Rebecca said her grandmother died there, so she's obsessed with it.
Oh,
Oh my
wow.
At
gosh.
Waverly, yeah, she
Yeah.
has a personal connection there.
Was it while it was the nursing home, like the old person's facility, Rebecca, if you're listening? 'Cause I think it had shut down from being a hospital and became like an old person's home
hmm
for a little bit.
You know, a lot of people say, like I've heard people say, like, "Oh, there's something demonic or something evil there." I don't feel any of that. I just feel sadness, and actually, I felt like humorous. Everyone knows about the bat story that I had that I thought it was a creeper, and I did an EVP session asking if that thing was human or inhuman, and I played it back, and it was like before I said the question, it said bat, and then again it said bat, bat, like you idiot. It was a bat, not a creeper. So it's pretty funny. Rebecca said the
That's
TB hospital,
yeah,
tuberculosis.
that's amazing. That's amazing.
I wonder if you could connect with your grandmother if you go there. That'd be pretty amazing.
I mean, hopefully not, but
Well, I don't know.
in my
I
opinion.
mean, yeah.
I'm sorry,
Well,
Rebecca. I don't mean to laugh.
not in a bad way, but in a good way.
I agree.
So
So I've never made it to Waverly. I'm dying to hit it. You know, I've actually heard mixed reviews. You know, so.
Well, it's
Really?
funny when Mike and I went to Waverly, I was like, the main purpose of Waverly is to compare and see how active this is compared to the other places I've been to. Talking about Gold Coast Railroad Museum. We got a little bit of activity, but not what we normally get. And I just think the more you frequent a place, they get to know you, and the more activity you get. So
I also think because for me, it's always been like one of those bucket list places that I've watched on TV when I was younger. You know, I've always was like extremely intrigued by it, and you give it these expectations, right? So you hold it to like a high standard, and then when you get there, you're like, okay, you know, you're expecting all this crazy stuff to happen, and then, you know, sometimes it's not that active. I think that's kind of what it is.
She's got letters and pics of Waverly.
Oh wow, cool. So like, you know, it was active for us, and we got some really wild stuff. But I just think that you build up these expectations of some of these like really famous locations, you know, that you're expecting so much more, you know. But no, definitely was not disappointing, that's for sure. But
no, not at
it's
all.
so big, you know. That's the other thing is too. The place is huge.
Massive, yeah.
One night doesn't do it justice because it goes by so fast.
It does.
Yeah, that's like a 2-night minimum place. You know, cover 2 floors.
You throw in
know,
the gift shop tour as well.
Yeah.
It's a must. I was like, no, it's a waste of time. Let's investigate already.
Yes.
Yeah, it was cool. The thing is, they got to do like their whole like, you know, tour,
of course.
and then it ends it off in the gift shop. But I was like, everyone knows about Waverly. Let's just move on already and go. Time's of the essence.
Right.
So yeah, that's how I felt. So, Erin, do you have any new events coming up that people may want to know about?
I do. Yeah. I have 2 this summer at up here at the Crown Point jail. That's where John Dillinger escaped back in the day with his fake gun.
Ooh, I got a historical piece on that. You want me to tell you real quick?
Yes, I do.
So at the Yesteryear Village is another location. It's a bunch of historical buildings that were going to be demolished, and they moved them to this one location. So all these buildings have activity, including the infamous Riddle House. Well, they also have like a hunting like cabin that John Derringer used to hide out in, supposedly, and they have like articles of him in there and stuff like that. So I don't know what the exact history is, but supposedly they said he like hid out in Florida for a while.
I believe that he was good at hiding.
Yeah,
I guess.
Sorry to interrupt, but yeah,
you're fine.
I had to like throw that in there since it related.
I love it. If you give me a history tidbit, I can go off on a tangent. So don't worry about that. But yeah, so I'll be doing 2 of those. I think they're both sold out though. That place is right up there with Gold Coast as far as activity goes. However,
Mhm.
it seems to be a bit darker,
Okay.
a lot more aggressive. But it's a really cool experience. They filmed Johnny Depp's Public Enemies there. A lot of bats fly at your head there.
Yeah.
Waverly.
I'm
uh,
experienced now with bats, so
yeah, so you're
they're not
good.
going to scare me.
No. But definitely some of the most intense moments I've ever had were at this jail.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's my hometown, so that helps. I think it, like you were saying, it's that camaraderie again of repeatedly going there, and they get used to you, so they get ramped up. So I'll be doing that. I'll be doing an asylum again, Randolph Asylum, which is in Indiana.
I love me a good asylum.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They never disappoint. And then Fort Mifflin in Philly.
Is that your motion detector?
Me?
Oh, Joe.
No, but I'm sorry, Aaron. I keep hearing
That was me in the
Rick Murphy
background, sorry.
video playing in the
Oh,
background.
Okay.
Something to pull up.
Every time I hear the it makes me freaking like crack up.
Yeah, I'm grabbing that. Sorry. I didn't know you could hear it.
Sorry. I apologize.
I have to
Where's
wait
that
till
noise?
a few more
Somebody
minutes to
voices.
play it because there's some vulgar language, so I have to wait till we're off of the.
Oh,
KGRA
real quick,
Digital
I forgot.
Broadcasting Network.
I got it real important. We're not being produced tonight, so I got to say this real quick. And if we got people from the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network that are listening to this show, they're going to be moving on to the next show. But if you want to hang around, you can jump on to our War Party Paranormal YouTube page. You can watch and listen to us and continue with the show. And just to let people know that we're not the only show on the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. It streams in all different types of platforms, iHeartRadio, Spotify, all over the world. And they got other shows like UFOs. They got the MUFON. They talk about cryptids. Bishop Long, he has his own show. You might see him on Ghost Adventures. So yeah, check them out. A little bit of compliance that I have to do every night. Right, Mike?
That's right.
Okay. So Erin, tell the people where they can find you.
I am on pretty much everything but Twitter. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. It's all Hauntings Around America. I have a website, hauntingsaroundamerica.com. It has all of my spotlights on there. Let's see. That's pretty much it. I tend to stick to social media. So
okay, you got your link tree.
Right?
What's that?
You have a couple of books, right?
I do. Yeah. They I don't know if they're still on Amazon or not, but I have them. So if anybody wants one.
Yeah, check them out for sure. And someone was asking any great events coming in Florida. Well, we just had one last Saturday night at the Gold Coast Railroad Museum. We're going to get ramped up for the fall season starting in August. I can't remember the exact date, but we're going to be at the Old Davie Schoolhouse, one of the oldest schoolhouses in South Florida. And they got a couple of historical buildings. So be on the lookout for that one.
Make sure you follow War Party Paranormal on Instagram, and we'll be posting when we have events coming up.
And Facebook.
Yes, Facebook and Instagram.
Yep. And then we also have Yesteryear Village. It's going to be starting in September. And I believe we'll be having like 1 or 2 events like every month until the end of the year. And then we'll be back at Gold Coast Railroad Museum soon. And we might be having a new surprise location. I won't say it till it's official, but stay tuned for that. Actually, 2 new surprise. Well, one's old, but it's new, but it's old. But the other one's very new. So we're working on that. And if that made sense.
I got you. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Okay, good.
All right, guys. So if anybody is offended by the F word,
cover your ears and put your children to bed. They're just going to go crazy.
This is a little clip from Waverly when we were there. And I thought somebody was killing a cat or person.
This is my creeper experience.
or a small girl screaming, but this is what I heard from a couple stories.
Never heard me sing Michael Jackson songs.
Holy motherfucker! Holy motherfucker!
That sounds good, and so I like that. I like how it sounds in slow motion. So Rebecca wanted to know what was that. So that was my creeper experience. So you saw it was a night vision, right? So I couldn't see very well, and I'm going up the stairs to the 3rd floor in the hallway, and I see the bats like flooding around in the hallway. And then as soon as I stepped out into the hallway, these 2 bats like going sideways like this were right in front of me. I could stick my foot out and probably hit a couple of them.
Yeah, and these were lunkers, man. These were like footballs.
But with my own eyes, it looked like a big shadow with these green eyes, and it was like sputtering like real fast, which was, them flying with the wings. And I'm like, oh my God, I was telling everyone I saw a creeper because that place that place is known for creepers, right? So I'm like, I had all these plans, all these things I wanted to do that night. Totally like went out the window. I'm like, I saw the creeper. I can go home. I'm done now.
I got to
do the investigation. I look at the video.
I got a creeper.
Yeah, and then later I looked at the video closely. 2 freaking bats. Even when I saw the bats, I'm like, no, there's no way that's a bat. That's a creeper. But yeah, it was a bat.
So, Joe, tell me what you guys, everybody. I've watched this video so many times that like I'm starting to like see stuff like, and I thought I saw something. You could see it.
Oh yeah, you showed me that, the eyes.
Yeah, there's 2 glowing eyes at
red
because straight through the hallway, Eric's shining his IR, and there's 2 eyes reflecting off the IR
from the end of the hallway.
No, straight.
Okay.
So like, see how he's panned down the hallway this way, but when he comes back straight, you see it, and when he first walks in, you see it, and it moves. It ducks behind the thing, and I don't know if I'm just like overlooking it, but watch it again. Try not to laugh, and look straight, and you'll see 2 glowing
before
eyes.
I move right and left. Look when I'm facing.
Holy!
Oops.
Holy motherfucker! Holy motherfucker!
I've actually paused it, and you see 2 eyes, and then you see him go behind the. It's really weird. Like, I don't know. Did you see it?
Yeah,
I definitely saw it. You see it straight down. It's just like kind of flashing.
Yeah, it's on the side.
As the camera's panning, it also looks like it's, it could be because it's a freaking dot, but it looks like it's moving.
But hey Wheezy, say hi Wheezy.
Could have been a cat.
Like I blew it up and looked at it, and it's like 2. The only thing I could think of is maybe Eric. What IR light were you using?
The 4-bulb one. I was probably, I was probably moving it, and maybe that's why it moved.
Well, then you would see
I was
4
panning it.
If that was
reflection, it would also give back.
That's true. I was thinking about that too.
And there's no glass around there, is there?
That's what I was thinking. If it was glass, maybe.
No, so there's no glass there. That whole area is like the front balcony, so it's all open. There's nothing out there.
Who knows.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like,
it's an interesting.
So many things you can miss. Like when you like go through your videos. Here, this is like what, Mike? This is like what, 3 years ago?
Yeah,
4 years ago.
And
maybe?
I'm just starting, and I just saw it the other day. Like,
yeah,
because you're looking at the bats and everything, but who knows, right? It's very hard to miss stuff too, especially when you're going through a lot of footage. You guys know how that is, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so Erin, they could find you at hauntings around America, right?
Yep.
Joe. Oh wait, we still have a couple of quick things to play.
We had some special announcements. I'll do the one, and then Joe can do his since he's on the show.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yes.
So everyone on our team is very multi-talented. Like, Ernesto, he's a rock star. He writes our music for our videos. Joe has a podcast. Mike and I have a podcast. And by the way, Haunted Files, we got a new series on there. And also Franny from Supernatural Eye. She has a podcast as well. And she's having the Aerojet rocket facility, her podcast on that, airing July 6th, and I have a trailer for that. So you guys be on the lookout for that one. And here we go.
On the next episode of Supernatural Eye.
There you go.
That place is freaking awesome.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a great episode. And actually, I'm in it too. I do the post interviews for her. So I actually get to interview Ernesto on the location and everything after the post interview segment of the show. And it was it's really pretty interesting. So
Erin, you love that place.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
I recommend the wintertime. You don't want to go now because the bugs are out of control.
The mosquitoes. Well, you'll get malaria.
They're like a bug suit.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Did you guys hear that a couple people got malaria in Florida?
Really?
From mosquitoes? Yeah, there's 2 cases already.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
It's coming.
it's always
Paranormal activity.
I think we're gonna get a storm this year. Hopefully not.
Oh, I know we will. Crossing my fingers we won't, or maybe it won't impact us directly, but yeah.
Here we go. And then I'm going to play this real quick. And then, Joe, I want you to follow it up.
Sweet.
I know that guy. I heard he's a pretty good dude, and
He's all right.
knows how to look up shit on the internet really, really well.
Just nothing but a big puma.
And occasionally read a book. But I decided to bring it back. Like I said earlier, I missed it. I missed digging into fun stories, and I think I was trying to make it something that it wasn't. And it's kind of like, I'm going to reset everything and I'm going to do this however the hell I really want to do this. And
I don't know, man. The last series was amazing.
That's
Yeah,
so
it was
cute.
really good.
Yeah.
well, I want to tell the story. I want to tell it in a fun way, but still give you like all the history, like, sources. I want to get more in depth. I just revitalized the YouTube page that's at FloWeirdaPod, same as the Instagram website, www.floweirdapod.com. And I'm slowly re-uploading the old episodes with the new artwork. And I'm also doing facts about the different places where the stories take place, or with some of the people in the story themselves, background stuff that didn't make the actual episode. So, I've said that I used to want to be a history teacher, a while back.
You still can do it.
I can, but I want to tell the story the way I would like.
Yeah.
Tell like my students, make it fun, make it interesting, make it something.
Yeah.
But tell also the stories that you don't hear about in the history books. Give you all. It's not even just weird anymore. It's just fucked up shit that's happened in.
Yeah.
And who doesn't like fucked up shit?
Sorry, it's after 10. I'm allowed to say it now, right?
Yeah, you can. We're not regulated by FCC.
Yeah, I am. Sorry, it's coming back, and I'm going to take my time with it, and I'm going to, enjoy the process of doing it, and not just try to hammer out an episode just because I need to meet a deadline that I put on myself.
No, man, you just take
I
your
never
time.
could have. Yeah. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. I've been already researching the next topic for about a couple weeks now, while doing all the artwork and everything, and I'm really excited to put it back out. So I hope everybody that's listening, watching the show, if you check it out, I would really appreciate it. And thank you.
And this time you don't have to say if you want to find me, you can follow everyone's social media.
Warparty.com.
But you can't do that still.
Yeah, actually, you know what? We should put a link to that on the War Party page as well.
Yeah, we will. Yep, for sure.
All right, guys. And for me, if you want to find any of my personal content, it's the easiest way is if you go to my website, flaparanormalresearcher.com. I got blog posts. I have a way that you could buy the Delco goggles, a link there. I have a link to my YouTube and all my social media accounts. I'm most active on Instagram, so hit me up anytime. Yep. And that's it for me. And also, don't forget to check out the Haunted Files on Paraflix. And if you're not subscribed to Paraflix and you use our code, the Haunted Files 25, you get a 25% discount off your annual subscription. So it comes out to like $30. So for the year.
Right, straight right down there. And not too long ago, we had a new episode. It's still pretty new. It's only like a week old. The Selma Mansion up in Norristown, Pennsylvania. Check that out. We had a wild
that was a wild
in there. All right. Now it's down to me. There's so much pressure when you're like the last person. You like do as well as everybody else. But pretty much I don't have to say too much. But anyway, just follow warpartyparanormal.com. And also I want to thank all the new people who are in the chat. Thanks for coming and listening and watching us. And please come back and don't forget to subscribe, like, all that stuff, and tell every single friend about us to watch us. It helps us out. Yeah, so we appreciate all you guys, the people that are returning fans that are on the chat and that always are here. We support you. And man, we had Crow here. So I'm quite honored about that. I don't know if he's still here, but Judas of Crow, it's always an honor to have him on there. So yeah. And then me, my personal stuff, you can follow me at Ghost Hunter of South Florida on IG, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. And also, more importantly, War Party Paranormal. We're a group, non-for-profit, where we help people with problems in the paranormal, whether it's in their homes or businesses. We don't charge a dime. So you know anyone that's local here in South Florida or maybe even in Florida that needs help, send them our way and we'll be more than happy to help them. Did I miss anything else?
You did not. You killed it.
All right. You're going to take us home, Mike?
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next month. Actually, you know what? Next Monday, I think we're off because of the 4th is on. Yeah, 4th of July is on Tuesday, but I think we're
no, it's Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll be off on Monday.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we'll be off on Monday.
All right. So check us out. We'll still have a replay. So come back and check us out. Anyway, have a good night, guys. Keep it smooth.
All right. Take care.